We move to what about the historical background of the median water theorem. Among these, there are three important eminent economists. One is that Harold Hotelling in the year of 1929, and second is that Duncan Black in the year of 1948, and third is that the eminent economist Anthony Downs in the year of 1957. These are the eminent economists to explain median water theorem. That is, the first in the year of 1929, the first economist Harold Hotelling explained the way in which how he introduced median water theorem. That is his famous article in a paper that is known as Stability in Competition in 1929. According to his opinion, that political views can be represented on a simple political spectrum from left to right. Politicians will effectively compete to win the center. That is, political views about the political views can be represented as the simple political spectrum from left to right. If there is a from left to right, that is the political spectrum here. This is the spectrum of political ideas. So from left to right, that is, here there is a competition between, here there is a effectively competition between the voters to win the central part. This is a success or to determine win of the elections, central part. This is the method explained by, that is, Harold Hotelling. In the same way, the other two economists like Anthony Downs in the year of 1957 and Duncan Black in the year of 1948. Duncan Black in the year of 1948 and 1957, Anthony Downs. The famous book of Downs and Duncan Black. Duncan Black book's name, The Rationale Group Decision Making. And Anthony Downs, An Economic Theory of Democracy. These are the other two eminent economists. One is that Duncan Black and another is that Anthony Downs. That is in the year of 1948. Duncan Black's famous article, that is The Rationale of Group Decision Making. Then in the year of 1957, Anthony Downs, An Economic Theory of Democracy. These are the famous publications of these three economists. From this they conclude that the win of the election mainly concentrated, or the political views mainly concentrated the central part or centrist. So centrist view is the win, or this is the main important part to determine the success of the politician or the success of the election. These are the three important economists explain, that is the historical side of the median water theorem. Next we move to the, here there is a figurative explanation about median water theorem. Here there is a figurative explanation about the median water theorem. The idea of Harold Hotelling, then Anthony Downs and Duncan Black, this that is to possess the centrist position, it explained with the help of a figure. So from this we conclude that this is the median water theorem. Here there are bell-shaped curve shown here. It divided into four parts: A, B, C, D. A, B, C and D. These are the four portions. That is, just you can imagine you are a candidate and A, B, C, D represent as these are the So support, that is, these are the voters are expressed in the form of, that is the alphabet A, B, C, D. That is the number of voters. Then you are a candidate here. So if you are a candidate, that is this portion A represent as, this is the voters completely support the candidate you. That is, you are the candidate, you are supported by, that is the portion up to A. Then in the case of after A, another word, that is B. B represent as these voters are, that is not completely support, because he is, that is, sorry, these voters are sometime, that is, these voters are sometime supported to the, that is the opponent parties, because their policies and their implementing methods sometimes supported by these people. That is the portion B. So they are not completely support the candidate you support, that is them, that is these section may be supported to the, not completely support, but they are some favor to the opponent here. In the same way, the portion C, this also represent as the number of voters. The importance is that is portion C is not completely support, that is the D, that is D represent as the, that is the X, that is D represent as the opponent of your, that is the opponent of your represent as D, and D's importance is that they are completely support of your exponent. Sorry, not exponent, you are the complete, that is portion D represent as the complete supporter of your own opponents. But in the same way, that is this portion is the supporter of the, that is the candidate. But the C represent as these the, that is C is the voters, that is this portion of voters not completely support exponent, that is opponent D, but from somewise he is supported to, that is the candidate, this portion A. Not completely accept, that is the opponent D views, but A's views is sometimes attracted by the portion of C voters. These are the four important groups. One is that if you are a candidate, one is that A is completely supporter and D is completely opponent. B and C represent as B is somehow you are supported by them, at the same time your own policies also sometimes does not interested, he change his ideas and move to your opponent. In the same way, C is the person, that is C is the number of voters, he does not completely support the opponent D, that's because of the policy sometimes he favor to the candidate this. So this is represent as the, this is the winning part here. This is the bell shape, this is the winning party of this winning. Next we move to what are the important advantages of the median voter theorem. There are three important advantages. One is that here there is centrist politics, and second is that get rid of worst rulers, and third is that vigorous competition between two parties. These are the three important advantages. One is that here there is a centrist politics. That is the success or the main advantage of the voter is that is he possesses the central part. That is central part or central portion that determine the success of the voting system. So that is the success of the voting system depend upon he possesses the central part here. So this is the first important advantage. If you belong to the central portion, definitely you are win the vote, that you are win the election. That's known as centrist politics. This is also explained by the three eminent economists like Harold, Duncan Black and Anthony Downs. That is the first important advantage. And second is that get rid of worst rulers. Due to the main imperfections in the democracy, due to the worst rulers or terrible rulers or leaders. So you can avoid, in the case of the best important advantage of the median voter theory is that here there is a get rid of or remove the worst rulers. This can determine the success of majority voting system. And third is that vigorous competition between two parties. If there is a competition between two parties, definitely they are very eagerly eager attempt to. What about the how to monetize or how to monitor each parties, and what about the accountable system? All these should be completely verified. So that is known as vigorous competition between two parties. Here there is a each or every nook and corner of these parties completely verified and monitored. So these are the three important advantages. Then we come to the last part here. What are the important limitations or what are the important disadvantages? What about the important disadvantage? One of the important assumption is that here there is a single dimensional system. That is, here there is a voting system, here there is single dimensional. So already you saw that what is meant by single dimension. Single dimension shows that only one issue at a time. This is not practical. There are so many issues are existed here. In that case, too much emphasis given to the single dimension. This is not practically implemented. That's the first important drawback. And second is that here there is a competition between two parties. Nowadays, here there is that is median voter theory only stress only two parties or two candidates. This also not applicable. There are so many parties existed here and so many candidates also existed. And third is that eligible candidate only had a right to vote. This also may be not correct. Eligibility, how to determine the eligibility of a person? That is, eligible candidate had a right to vote. This also criticized by so many economists. These are the three important defects. Now we conclude the median voter theorem. Start from the meaning, and second is that assumption, and what about the historical side here, and fourth here there is a figurative explanation, and fifth here there is a advantage, and last is that disadvantage or limitation. These are the main part here. Okay. Hello dear students, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും സംശയങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ആ കമൻറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ ഇടുക. അതായത് എന്തെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ക്ലാരിഫിക്കേഷൻ വേണം, മനസ്സിലാവാത്ത എന്തെങ്കിലും കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മിസ് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞു തരേണ്ട എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, നിങ്ങൾ ആ കമൻറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ കമൻറ്റ് ഇടുക. ഇനി ഇതിൻ്റെ നോട്ട്സ് ഞാൻ ഡിസ്ക്രിപ്ഷൻ ബോക്സിൽ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. നിങ്ങൾ ചാനലിൽ നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടുക ഡിസ്ക്രിപ്ഷൻ ബോക്സിൽ ഞാൻ അതാത് ദിവസങ്ങളെ ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തതിൻ്റെ നോട്ട്സ് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടാവും.